Hey kids, no need to be afraid of word problems. I'm going to teach you some strategies to help you be a successful problem solver.
Pump up the volume, pump up the classroom. Everybody sucking up skills like a vacuum. Pump up the volume, pump up the classroom. Everybody sucking up skills like a vacuum. Pump up the volume, pump up the classroom.
Look for a pattern.
What is it?
An arrangement of repeated parts or designs that will help you to determine what comes next. An ongoing relationship between numbers or symbols.
What isn't it?
A random sequence of numbers that shows no relationship and we cannot determine what comes next.
Example.
The first row of seats in a theater has 2 seats. The second has 5, the third has 8, and so on. If the pattern continues, how many seats are there in the 4th row?
Here's another example.
12, 8, 5, 3. What comes next?
Tips and reminders.
Study the numbers to see if they're increasing or decreasing. If they increase, does it look like they're being added or multiplied? If they decrease, does it look like they're being subtracted or divided? Be careful, advanced problems might have 2 operations. Find the difference between the numbers and record it. After a few numbers, you may notice a pattern developing. Test your pattern to see if it fits the remaining numbers in the set.
Now you watch as we model one for you.
Please follow along as we model this process for you.
The first month, Jack's dog gained 5/10 kilograms by eating 100 grams of dog food each day. The second month, the dog gained 9/10 kilograms, and the third month, 1 3/10 kilograms. If this pattern continues for 2 more months, how much weight will the dog gain in month 5?
To solve this problem, I'm going to use my problem-solving quadrant. It's important to reread word problems. We often can't solve a word problem after reading it only once. This time, let's go back and read specifically to find what the problem wants us to find.
The first month, Jack's dog gained 5/10 kilograms by eating 100 grams of dog food each day. The second month, the dog gained 9/10 kilograms, and the third month, 1 3/10 kilograms. If this pattern continues for 2 more months, how much weight will the dog gain in month 5? In word problems, we can often find the question at the end.
In this specific problem, the question they're asking us is, how much weight will the dog gain in month 5?
In as few words as possible, or in my own words, I want to go back and put the question into our problem-solving quadrant.
All right, problem solvers, this time we're going to read the problem again, but we're going to be looking for the facts.
The first month, Jack's dog gained 5/10 kilograms. Oh, that sounds important. I think we'll highlight that as an important fact. All right, let me keep going. Jack's dog gained 5/10 kilograms by eating 100 grams of dog food each day. I originally thought that was going to be a fact, but then I realized that's just information that they're trying to trick me because I don't need to know how much they're going to eat. The second month, the dog gained 9/10 kilograms. That also sounds important. I think I will highlight that. And the third month, 1 3/10 kilograms. Also important. Let's highlight that as well.
Now we're going to organize those facts that we just found into our quadrant. And now we're ready to talk about our plan for solving this problem.
I know it's look for a pattern because they're giving me a series of numbers and asking me to solve for a future number if it continues. I need to organize and find a way to record month 5. I'm going to use a chart, which you're going to see on the next page. I know the numbers are increasing because of the word gained, which means something's being added. Now we're going to find the difference using the caret method.
And now it's time to solve.
I'm using a 3-row chart. The first row represents the months, and the second row is my kilograms, and I can use the facts to fill in this row. And I added the third row to have some space to find the difference.
Now, notice we put a red circle on the kilograms row of month 5. That's because the question was asking us how much weight the dog will gain in month 5. So I put that circle there to remind us that that's where we're going to find the answer to this problem. You might think about using that circle in your own work to help you remember where you're going to look to find your answer once you're done filling out the chart. Now, the first 2 labels of my rows will change every time I use this table, but remember that this type of chart can be used, this 3-row chart can be used with the difference at the bottom to help you solve any pattern problems.
Now I'm going to use what's called the caret, and I call it a caret because it kind of looks like the bottom of a carrot, and it helps me stay organized so I know between which 2 numbers I'm finding the difference.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the difference between 5/10 and 9/10, and we're going to use our caret to show that that difference is 4/10. Now I'm going to use another caret to find the difference between 1 3/10 and 9/10, and again I get that there's a difference of 4/10. So by now we've found that our pattern, if you look at the difference row, we can see that 4/10 is the pattern that's repeating across the bottom. And we mentioned earlier that our kilograms were increasing from 5/10 to 9/10 to 1 3/10. If I continue that pattern, that means that I should add 4/10 to 1 3/10. So let's go ahead and do that at the bottom here. And if I add 1 3/10 plus 4/10, I get 1 7/10. That's going to be the number that I'm going to fill in on my chart under month 4. But remember that we're trying to solve for month 5, so we need to actually keep going with our pattern to solve for month 5. So again, we're going to use our caret method to show that we're going to continue the pattern by adding another 4/10. I'm going to add 4/10 to 1 7/10, and that's going to give us 2 1/10.
Now it's your turn to try one with your problem-solving grid. You can hit pause and replay as needed.
Joe's shop had weekly sales of 100, 80, 110, 90, 120, and 100 large baskets. If the sales pattern for large baskets continues, about how many will Joe sell next week? Now, the first thing that you should be doing is remembering to set up your 4-quadrant problem-solving grid. And it looks like this. You can pause this video right now to make sure that you copy this down. Then you're going to want to go back to the question, and again I'm going to ask you to pause the video right here and reread the question a few times to yourself, remembering that it takes several times of reading the question before you'll be able to solve it. Remember that you can use your 3-row chart to help you organize your data if you need to. Pause the video here to do your work. If you need a hint, you can press play and we'll help you out on the next slide. If you've finished the problem, go ahead and take a look at what we've done here and check your work against mine. If you just needed a hint, again, go ahead and pause here, take a look at what we've got and see if that helps you get started. All right, here we are with our finished table. Notice I circled the square under week 7 to indicate that that's where I was going to find the answer to this problem. And if you look at the difference at the bottom of the screen there, you'll notice that in this problem the pattern was actually decreasing and increasing back and forth. So hopefully you were able to solve that yourself, and hopefully you found that the projected basket sales for week 7 would be 130.
This strategy of look for a pattern is a tool to add to your tool belt to help you solve math word problems.
Pump up the volume, pump up the classroom.